to America Makes Game Day here at Rapid Plus TCT 2023 here in Chicago. My name is Josh Cramer, Director of Education and Workforce Development here at America Makes. I have a wonderful team of folks here from the Veterans Affairs with us. Obviously, America Makes being the National Innovation Institute focused on additive manufacturing, having kind of near and dear the DoD and all of our veterans super close to us. So it's awesome to have this crew and this esteemed group of folks here with us as well. I have Annika and Lorelei and Chris with us here to talk a little bit about not only their work and what they do every day, but kind of what they see the needs being across the Veterans Affairs. And obviously, some exciting stuff maybe we are going to embark on and plan and kind of embed you all in. We're working on some resources and assets that we're going to engage the team on as well. And so really looking forward to that. Maybe start with Lorelei and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do every day at the Veterans Affairs.
My name is Lorelei Gore. I work as a product development engineer and clinical engineer for the Department of Veterans Affairs.
And I'm Annika Levine. I am a research, regulatory, and quality specialist with the Department of Veterans Affairs as well.
I'm Chris Richberg. I'm the Director of Product Development at VA Ventures, and I'll just take a quick opportunity to tell you what Ventures does within VA. So we bring in all kinds of new technologies, anything that can benefit our veterans, but we're really focused on making medical devices that are patient-specific. So tailored to each patient. They're not, large, medium, small. They're not off the shelf, but really specific to each patient's anatomy, and seeing how we can optimize healthcare using additive manufacturing to meet that goal.
Yeah, so obviously, hearing that definition of your work makes a lot of sense why you're sitting here at Rapid, right? so I mean, let's talk a little bit about some of the ongoing work and how you found additive to be a solution to some of that. And then we're going to break into some of the fun journey of how you're all sitting here with me. But let's talk a little bit about additive as a solution for you all, and what do you see there? And I'm sure we'll talk not only technology but materials and those kind of things just the same.
Yeah, I'll just say we're not limited to additive as a manufacturing process, but it is excellent for patient customized hardware, right? When you're doing one-offs, each item is unique. Additive is great for that. It's great for fast turnarounds. It works well in the hospital, right? We can have all different types of systems, whether it's desktop or really large SLS systems. So each one has its pros and cons, and we can implement each in a different way, for different projects, programs, or services within VA.
That's fantastic, and I mean all of this obviously supporting our veterans, right?
Absolutely.
And so let's talk a little bit, one of my favorite things, and I know we're talking about, telling the story through the new AM Jobs platform and capturing that through some of our America Makes additive or edge factor content, doing these, dynamic videos and that kind of stuff, because we know so much of the industry, still has that awareness gap or vacuum, right? And we know that, we look at awareness, the inspiration, and then we, get folks into training and those kind of things. And so oftentimes, many folks will say sitting at home, for lack of better terms, they just don't really know what's out there in the opportunity and then how to take that first step. And so we're trying to help folks really gain that. And so, Lorelei, maybe starting with you, your journey into the Veterans Affairs. How did you get there? What was your background?
Yeah, my background was a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering. I graduated back in 2017. I had been hired on originally as a biomedical engineer through VA Fresno. The whole reason that I heard about that job and working within a hospital to begin with, which was something that I hadn't been aware of before, was my dad is a retired vet, and he mentioned that on USA Jobs they had some positions for biomedical engineers. So when I looked, I ended up getting hired on, and originally I was dealing with medical device recalls and cybersecurity and maintenance. But when I started looking more into biomedical engineering, I ended up finding a position in Seattle as a biomedical engineer that worked more with product development and additive manufacturing, and was, of course, interested and applied. And so I don't have as extensive a background in additive, but I'm definitely eager and excited and glad that I was brought on board.
Yeah, that's fantastic, right? One of the things I often talk about, right? It's one of those things where you didn't set off to do this, and then you hit all those exact spots and you landed here, right? And I'll venture to say that even sitting here, you probably didn't set out to Rapid and said, wow, I'm going to be on game day on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, not quite.
Annika, how about you?
So my path was a little bit windy. I'm actually an occupational therapist by training. After working a little bit, I realized I wanted to sort of move away from direct patient care, but still have a really impactful career in healthcare. I did a lot of research in undergrad. I was familiar with the institutional review boards and the research process. So I was scrolling through LinkedIn and I found a job posting for a research coordinator, actually. And my PI was part of this VA Ventures and the Office of Advanced Manufacturing. So he was sort of making this switch, and about 2 or so months into working for him, I was on a call and I was excited and eager, and I volunteered to write a 510K, not knowing really anything about what that entailed. So I kind of got down this wonderful rabbit hole of quality and regulatory with some great mentors, and I just haven't looked back from there. So again, not as much experience for the technical side of additive manufacturing, but very excited to learn and very interested in all of the different technology that comes across your desk with regulatory and quality as well.
Yeah, so much of that is the critical asset, right? Continuous lifelong learner, the innovation mindset, right? And those kind of things. And Chris, I can only hope that you kind of pull the same applause that Annika did. And I'm not sure if that's going to come through, but man, you got a rousing applause for your background, so I'm not sure. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so my background is actually in robotics. So I spent about 15 years in the robotics field doing land, underwater, and space robotics. So similar to Annika, I got into research at the VA based on that robotics background and prosthetics, and then moved into this innovation office and doing what we're doing now with VA Ventures. But I just want to point out, we have a huge variety of backgrounds within the VA, and I think that's really important to what we're doing to get that variety of voices, input into the final product to really come out with something that's better than we could develop as engineers alone.
Yeah, and I mean, so many folks that hear me all the time drone on and on about this thing called AM Nation, right? And it's truly, it takes all of us, right? And everyone's going to come from a different background, a different mindset, a different solution. And I think the additive industry, just as we sit here at Rapid, has a unique stance in that, right? Just that naturally curious, natural innovator wanting to drive to a solution of a problem, and truly it takes a team. There's nothing that we don't do, even at America Makes, even in our workforce education portfolio, where it's just us or it's just me, right? It's a whole team of people, it's a whole team of industry and industry experts and those kind of things, and I think that's what brings the best solutions a lot of times. And whether that's a technology solution, a human solution, whatever that may be, obviously, you're all in that space that is both human and technology, and those kind of things. And I mean, we're truly looking forward to working closer with you all, having a chance to highlight, people across the Veterans Affairs Organization and their job roles and all of those kinds of great things, and really highlight that. I appreciate you spending game day here with me, and I mean, obviously, probably the most popular group here today by applause, so I appreciate that. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and looking forward to working with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Absolutely.